Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and I'm taking care of business. Joining me today is Koleya Karringten, who is CEO of Absolute Combustion International and an organizer of the Alberta Technology Symposium that's coming up. Thanks for joining us today. And maybe can you explain a little bit about the symposium and what the purpose of the event is?
Absolutely. So I'm really excited about this. I've been in the technology industry now since about 2009, designing combustion heating solutions for the energy space, the agriculture space, construction and aviation space. And it's been a really interesting journey watching the technology ecosystem in Calgary evolve. I've been a big advocate for kind of showcasing that Alberta really can be that Silicon Valley of Canada. And the reason for putting on an event like this is because I wanted to showcase how blockchain, machine learning, Internet of Things, health tech, ag tech, all these emerging technologies are coming together and really developing out this incredible ecosystems. It's creating jobs, it's creating revenue, it's creating like highlight and prosperity for the province. We want to highlight the people doing the amazing things and really showcase to just general population that this ecosystem that's being generated here is going to put Alberta on the map.
Yeah, let's talk about some specifics about the event. When is it?
So it's on April 20th and 21st in Calgary, Alberta. It's being hosted at the Grand Theatre. I really love that theater. It's it's a unique kind of vibe. They do kind of like ballet, live arts, performance, art, and different kind of things there. So it's kind of got that nice intimate setting.
Okay, then. And who is it geared for? Who do you hope to be attending at this type of an event?
So right now, in terms of speakers, we have some of the biggest technology leaders here in Alberta coming to share their thought leadership and their guidance on what they've done with their company. We have economic development agencies coming in to talk kind of about the importance, what it is that they do, how they can support companies. We have groups from the finance sector like Startup TNT and Meta Equity and Neo Financial, groups that can discuss how to take that startup and take it all the way to kind of unicorn and the fundraising side of things, then talks on the health tech and ag tech and Bitcoin mining, fintech. So really it's geared for anyone that's in that technology ecosystem that wants to network, that wants to grow their business, that wants to understand how to access funding, that wants to look, or just a business owner that's looking at how do I upscale, how do I increase my business capacity by creating better efficiency, by utilizing technology. There's case studies on that for how businesses have grown and prospered by, adopting new tech. So it's kind of geared for that. And then we have, government officials. We have Minister Schweizer attending the event, which is really amazing. And then we have government grant agencies who fund a lot of the companies from the startup stage to the small to medium-sized business that can talk about the funding opportunities available through the government.
Okay, before I forget, so where can people find information about this?
Best way to do it is it's being hosted by a group called the Canadian Blockchain Consortium. So I'm also the executive director there. And if you're looking to learn more, it's canadablockchain.ca. You just go onto the website and there will be a great big banner on there that talks about the tech symposium. You can click straight through, see all the speakers, the agenda, and the value offerings that we have.
Okay, and so I'm curious, what is the Canadian Blockchain Consortium?
So the Canadian Blockchain Consortium was actually founded here in Calgary, Alberta. It came as a brainchild from this amazing woman named Suzanne West. She was the CEO of an oil and gas company called Imaginea, and she was also my mentor who helped me commercialize my new technology in the oil and gas sector. After she passed away, I was asked if I'd like to take her brainchild on and keep her legacy going. So you're going to hear a lot about her if you come to events and talk to me. I love this woman to pieces, and I want to make sure people remember her. So we incorporated as a not-for-profit, and we started as the Alberta Blockchain Consortium in 2017, quickly grew there. And now we have renamed the Canadian Blockchain Consortium. We are the largest industry organization on blockchain here in Canada. We do white papers, we do events, we do education, we do advocacy. We've currently contracted with NATE to build out their curriculum program on blockchain. Oh, wow. We have committees, so engagement from all across the country. If you're interested in supporting from fintech to mining to legal and regulatory to industry. So we're a big organization. We have about 36 volunteers right now, no paid staff. So we pretty much continue going on, just the goodwill of all the amazing people in the tech community.
Let's talk about that tech community. in Alberta specifically. Are you surprised to see the level of growth it's experienced in the last, I don't know, 5 years, say?
No, I'm not. Because I think there's been a lot of groups, like people like myself, who have been advocating very diligently for it. My personal belief is like the technology sector is kind of the foundation that this province sits on. It's technology that supports traditional resource industries like agriculture and energy. And if we don't, recognize and support and continue to develop these new and emerging technologies, that's what's creating, cost efficiencies. It's what's making our oil and gas the cleanest oil and gas in the world, because we've spent billions of dollars on clean tech for it. It's what's helping us get our agriculture out to market. So it's amazing to see the government finally kind of taking note and going, yes, we need to support this emerging field. We're seeing huge amounts of growth. We're seeing companies like, Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange, picked Calgary, Alberta to be their home base, right? Like, because we are the fastest growing blockchain hub in Canada now as well. And that's a lot of the work from being able to advocate and showcase the value. So I'm not surprised. I'm grateful that they're finally starting to see it. And it's from the work of a lot of really amazing groups out there.
You bring up a really good point, right? Is regarding how the technology sector, has really supported some of those traditional natural resources industries, right? And especially oil and gas, right? And you need that technology sector with new innovation and new ideas and efficiencies, et cetera, to boost that industry up. So in many ways, you're right? That tech sector has been here all along. It's just different parts of it are growing recently, right?
Yes, I think it's just more recognizing that technology on its own is its own industry. Before it was like, oh, I've designed this for energy, and people considered themselves like an energy-based company or an oil and gas-based company or an ag-based company. And now, from work of people like Kimberly Van Vliet with ConvergeX, she teaches people it's like cross-sector collaboration. I didn't even think of it before. I designed burners for oil and gas. Now I'm innovating new technology in construction and in aviation. And I wouldn't have thought of that before, but it's like groups of people showing you it's like your technology is kind of its own thing and it fits in any industry. So that's kind of where people are starting to recognize that it's always been there, but now specifically, like if you're like, to give an example, just in the agriculture space, they've designed autonomous tractors. So you now have machine learning algorithms and Internet of Things, and you can control your tractor, not specifically from a smartphone, but say from a handheld device, and you can watch your tractor do all its job for you. Yeah. So the days of having to wake up at 5 a.m. to husk your corn are gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Better efficiencies.
Yeah, fascinating world we live in, and it's just getting even more interesting, right? Because we're the things that we're doing today, right? We probably never would have thought of 5-10 years ago, right? And can you in your mind, just the last question I have is, I guess the possibilities are just endless in this field, right?
Absolutely endless. And I guess like where I would really encourage people to think is like, thinking about your business today, of course, important beyond your business, but thinking about your business in 10 years from now. Like a really good example is if you look at things like blockchain and IoT and machine learning, if you look at the combination of them, you now have partially autonomous vehicles. Once Tesla comes out with that stage 3 autonomous vehicle, that self-driving Uber, and based on economies of scale, anyone can afford the vehicle, are you really going to want to park your car downtown when you could send your vehicle out to pick people up and make revenue off of it? So think about like your business. Are you a parking lot? Your business is going to be displaced in the next 10 years as people can afford these self-driving autonomous vehicles, right? So kind of like looking at your business today, looking at like where technology is going, paying attention to those thought leaders in different technology fields to go, am I going to still be here in 10 years? Because that's another part of why we're doing this symposium, teaching people to kind of have that forward-looking, process of thinking, automating jobs. Digital jobs of tomorrow is one of our panels. How is automation displacing jobs? How can we teach businesses to retain their workforce and create efficiency, right? So they don't lose our workers. We need them. Our population is growing, but technology is going to displace a lot of people.
Yeah, super then. All right. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that was Koleya Karringten, who is CEO of Absolute Combustion International and organizer of the Alberta Technology Symposium, which is coming up in April. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. This has been Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.